Ladies, gentlemen, YouTubers, I am Armani, and I'm the advocate and producer of the Talk the Biz Wrestling on YouTube channel, Armani. So, go on to what we're going to talk about today. First off, there's two videos, so if you're watching this one, make sure you check out this next one. And that will be my predictions on WWE Fastlane this Sunday. Also, right now, this video, as you are watching, as you know, yes, don't turn the channel. It's about the current state of AJ Styles WWE debut of 2016 circa. Now, I got a lot of comments, a lot of emails, and a lot of messages, and got into real good conversations after the Royal Rumble at about AJ Styles, really, because a lot of people felt like WWE rushed it, or it was too cliche how they did it, or basically they rushed him to debut. And I'm like, no, they did not. The reason why I say this is because it's WrestleMania season, and a guy who has the caliber of AJ fucking Styles, the phenomenal one, why the fuck do you not debut him before WrestleMania? And why not get him into a storyline that goes just great with what he's doing? So, I mean, for me, I'm watching this and I'm looking at it as, okay, AJ Styles, he doesn't have to go through NXT. He's on the main roster. And the fact that they acknowledged his accomplishments all around the world, including the IWGP, they did not make any mention to TNA, so I'm sorry, TNA fans. I'm really sorry. You know, to me it sounds like Vince McMahon, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and Chris Jericho, and anybody else who's working on AJ Styles' current case in the WWE, they're paying really close attention to it because, for one, AJ deserves a lot more than just a debut and basically try to make it on his own at this point in his career, because let's just be real, the guy's a huge star all over the world, and the best part, he's known by the American fans. The people love AJ fucking Styles. So why wouldn't you try to make sure this guy has a good storyline, a person that's going to help him get over, and on top of that, make him something more special than what he already is? Right now, that's what I'm seeing through his, as far as my analysis of him, so far. And the reason why I say this is because, yeah, he went up against Jericho, he went up against Axel, and he went up against Miz twice with Jericho and Miz. But the thing is, they want him to get over. They don't want him to be someone who's lost in the shuffle. And to give him the storyline that he has currently is more so to give us, the fans, yay, we brought him here. You guys want him. We're going to make sure he gets where he needs to be. And if you really want him here, you better want him to get over. And quite honestly, I think he's going to get over. I mean, from what I've seen, it's been a lot of more character that I've seen from AJ than majority of his run in TNA. Because in TNA, he didn't really have that much of a role, if you know what I mean. I mean, he did not really get that character time. All we knew was he was the phenomenal one. He was the phenomenal one. That's all we knew. And on top of that, he could wrestle great matches. But really, when it came to character and charisma, I don't think TNA really developed it, to be honest. Where WWE, they're developing it right now. It's going like, yeah, you're the veteran, but you're new to WWE. You're a rookie. Show to us that you are worth every fucking penny you're going. That's what I see in this current storyline with Jericho. They want AJ to prove himself, not only to them, but to the fans. because everybody knows how great AJ really is. We just want to see him succeed in WWE. And I want to see where his character goes from here, because so far his character's been pretty damn good. I mean, it's pretty outspoken in a way. For one, they did not give him that much mic time. That's the one big concern I'm worried about. If I were to have any concerns about his WWE run, is the fact about his mic time. So I'm worried. Is it because he can't cut a promo, or is it because they're not letting him cut a promo just yet, because they want him to get sympathy for the fans and, you know, go out there and do something. Now, a lot of you are going like this, so it's like, why does this even matter? Why does charisma and character matter for wrestling? Well, it just makes them a bigger deal and makes you more well invested in the superstar. I mean, I look at it. Daniel Bryan coming into NXT, you know, it wasn't that special. I mean, yeah, he was the American Dragon. He had a great, amazing indie career, and everybody loved Daniel Bryan. But here's the problem. Daniel didn't really have that typical charisma like The Rock has. He can't speak on the mic like Cena. He cannot speak on the mic like a CM Punk. He could wrestle better. The one thing that got Daniel Bryan over more than anything was him being himself. And that's what I think a lot of guys need to do in the wrestling business, is just be themselves, or be an extension of themselves. So, and let me tell you this, when Daniel finally developed a character of when he was being obnoxious, when he started his yes, yes chant, or the no, no, that showed a lot of character, and a lot of people got into it. They were invested in it. Another one of a good example, I mean, if you guys want a good example, so you can have some hope with what's going to happen with AJ and his future in WWE, is this. Look at Eddie Guerrero. Eddie had small amount of personality in WCW. All we know was he was a great wrestler. He could do the luchador style. He had like a kiss my ass attitude, because Eric Bischoff was just being a complete dick to him backstage. And on top of that, when you look at Guerrero in WCW, I mean, I think to myself, what was his character there? Not really that much other than the lie, cheat, and steal. That was always in their gimmick. But when he came to WWE, he became Latino Heat. And because he became Latino Heat, he actually became more funny. He was awesome to watch. And who could ever forget Mamacita? Or even just partnering up with his brother, cousin Chavo. And they would have vignettes of them having... I mean, you had more character out of Eddie Guerrero in WWE than you ever did in WCW. That's just true. And looking at AJ had this potential, like Eddie did back then. So, let's see where his character develops. I mean, everybody's character is different, so don't get too lost. I'm not saying that AJ is gonna be what Eddie was, because he won't be. AJ is gonna find out what his character is in WWE, and I'm looking forward to actually seeing what it's like. And he seems pretty damn humble about being in WWE right now, and he just wants to make an impact. And really, that was his motto for TNA for a long time, so let's hope that not only does he make an impact, but then WWE not only capitalizes on him at this point in time, because honestly, I think WWE, of all the promotions out there, can capitalize on AJ effectively and make him a bigger star than he already is. And he's a pretty damn big star. So everybody would just see what WWE does. I don't think they're going to bury him, because why in the hell would you not? Why would you bury him after giving him so much time in the current Royal Rumble? And on top of that, his first real wrestling match on Monday Night Raw, beat one of the best in the game, Chris Jericho, and then beat Curtis Axel, and then make The Miz tap out twice, and only have him lose to Jericho once. So when I look at it, it's like he's doing pretty damn freaking well. And I think WWE is just, they're taking the time to focus where they need to go with him. And I think if they do that, we could see a bigger and brand new style of AJ Styles. I mean, a phenomenal one that might be reborn. Because when he was in TNA, that last year in TNA, I'm so glad AJ did not re-sign with those guys. Because, honestly, to be honest to God, AJ Styles, I think they did everything they could in TNA for AJ. Honestly. Because, one, you pretty much buried him for about how many years? I mean, that guy should have been fucking world champion at least 7 times. At least 7 times in TNA. He was only given the belt how many times? Like 3, 4, 5? Which really does not make sense because he deserved the belt more than that. Him and Joe both. Joe did not deserve one title run. He deserved 3 or 4. So, and I blame TNA for that because it's like you focused on the legends too much. Now that you pretty much had something hot with AJ and Samoa Joe and Kazarian and Daniels, and now it's gone because you wasted your time on it. I mean, you really kind of did everything you could, and you're pretty much their heat is kind of flaring off at that time. So when Joe went to WWE and renewed himself in NXT, that really made me look forward to what he's going to do in WWE. And the highest bet I think he'll go for might be the Intercontinental title at the most right now. That's what I'm looking at. If he ever does get the world title in WWE, that'd be amazing. Because that shows you WWE is not discriminating anybody. And I believe AJ could actually win the world belt at least once or twice. The reason why I say that is because right now with the pops that he's getting, he should have almost all the fans in no time behind him. It might be kind of similar to Daniel Bryan's heat getting really amazing and becoming white hot. Well, we'll see where it goes, but I'm just saying, AJ, I see him being world champion too. So for all of you guys who think I'm against the Indies or against TNA or AJ Styles, fuck you. I know what I'm talking about when I see AJ Styles, and I think he's one of the best that WWE has hired in recent years. So we'll see where it goes, And really, from any fan out there who watches wrestling, the best thing to do is just to enjoy the show and get invested in the characters. Because the more you're invested in the characters, the more you're interested, the more you love the show, and you'll have more favorites, trust me. My biggest problem with them right now, if you guys really want to know what my biggest problem is the fact that they don't develop more characters. Because in the Attitude Era and the Golden Era and even the New Generation, you had at least a big variety of different characters that just did not pertain to the world title picture or a main event picture. Just saying. I mean, give Kofi Kingston something to do. Wait, they already did that with the New Day. Oh yeah, that's right. But like, what about what's his face? Titus O'Neil. Give him some TV time. Make him develop his own character. I mean, that's the whole thing with the Attitude Era, which a lot of people think, oh, you're an Attitude Era guy. You love it, and I'm like, no. I'm not just an Attitude Era guy because I glorify it just like a lot of people would. No, it's just the fact that in the Attitude Era, everyone had a storyline, everyone had a character. You gotta look at it. Freaking, did you ever expect Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexy to have a character or a thing on WWE? What did they end up doing? They ended up doing the dances with Rikishi, and they were just the two wiped out white boys trying to become fly while they dance with Rikishi, who's pretty much getting as much heat as he needs to be in the mid card. Who else? S.A. Rios even had a fucking character. He became that hot, I don't know, whatever that is, that hot Chicano, hot-headed one, after he lost Lita. But he had to deal with another hot-headed chick Mexicano or Latino, and that would be fucking Eddie Guerrero, you know. So, who else had a character? Moppy had a character in WWE. If you don't know who Moppy is, look up Perry Saturn, and you'll find out that him and a broom actually ended up dating. So, and then on top of that, what else in the Attitude Era had a character? Godfather was probably one of the most flamboyant characters of the Attitude Era. Oh, what else? Val Venus, another character. Kai and Tai. Those guys were characters. I mean, frick, who will ever forget Choppy Choppy, Mr. Peepee? I mean, even Wade Boggs had a character in the Attitude Era. That to me is like, that's what WWE is missing. They're focusing too much on the guys they want to push, but they don't focus on the guys that they have. Guys like Heath Slater should actually be doing this social outcasting and get himself over and become a character. Simple. AJ is going to be developing a character because he looks like, as far as his in-ring goes, for all you guys who love AJ Styles, I think he's a priority guy. That means that's one of the guys they're not going to be fucking around with. Just saying. I think Los Matadors need to have a character instead of being that child gimmick fucking Matador thing. Because when was the last time you actually ever saw a real life Matador? Another thing. That's another thing. Storylines need to be more realistic. It cannot be this freaking cartoonish shit. And can you do that in the PG era? Of course you can. But you gotta be really true to life and more so. Honestly, I always said this, and a lot of people agreed with me. Randy Orton being that crazy Viper guy that has voices in his head, that's a great character for the PGA era. It is a great character. But if you make Randy Orton into the character that he was in 2005 and 2004, where he's just he's the privileged prodigy, he sucks. He just sucks. I mean, because it's like, we know what character he is, and it sucks. So, quite honestly, as far as AJ's going, I think I'm thinking they're focusing on him very well. I think they're trying to figure out what his character is within the company, and then on top of that, I just believe that they need to develop more characters and more true-to-life storylines within the PG era, which I believe they can. I don't know why they aren't. I don't know why people are going all this, oh, let's do the Scooby-Doo thing, or the Fred Flintstone, the Cena Rock, or John Bedrock, or Daniel Bryrock. I'm like, we don't need too much over the top. Like, what the fuck kind of storylines like that? I mean, it gets too annoying after a while. The last time I actually enjoyed one of those storylines was the Hornswoggle, Vince McMahon, the illegitimate child. I mean, a lot of people might not enjoy Hornswoggle, but that was probably one of the most funny times in my life. Because when they revealed that Mr. McMahon's son was Hornswoggle, you just looked at Vince's face and it was like, it's like he showed the outside face of, oh, I'm so fucking irritated. But his inside face was like, my pride. Like Vegeta going like, my pride and rage has blinded me, kind of deal. And the whole time you're watching it, you can't help but laugh. Because he was trying to build up this big superstar to be his son his illegitimate son, and it's this little midget. And the whole time, you just can't help but laughing. But you can't help but laughing watching Triple H laugh at Vince McMahon too, because it's just like you couldn't help it. It's just too fucking funny. And then on top of that, that created good comedy between Coach and Hornswoggle, which was hilariously funny, especially the time when Hornswoggle went under the ring and freaking Jonathan Coachman tried to blow him up, and then he went under the ring and blowed himself up. So, to me, WWE needs to be more. They need to be more complimentary to their establishment, because that's what they're known for from the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, and on top of that, it was the main thing that got them famous when it was the Golden Era, where you mixed rock and wrestling. And on top of that, I mean, right now you have a bunch of superstars that are like the New Generation Era. There is really no competition out there. So you better be the one busting it out. I mean, seriously. So I just hope WWE goes back to making complementary storylines that are very complex, very, you know, down to earth for a bunch of us. So we'll see how that goes. As far as that, AJ Styles is here in WWE, and we're going to be enjoying watching him, and I can't wait to see that match between him and Jericho at Fastlane. So everybody, booyah! That's what we can do today.